Welcome to the White Rabbit YouTube channel. In today's episode, we are reviewing the previous episode, Reptilian Lizard People in Vietnam. For this episode, I was on location and I wanted to go to the actual jungle of Vietnam to have a more realistic feeling. And we went to Ba Vi National Park, which is 50 kilometers west of Hanoi. I think it took about an hour or two to get there by taxi. And then we just drove deeper into the national park for about 45 minutes, stopped in a random place, and there was a trail. So it was pretty waterlogged, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I just continued on. Someone said hello, and I'll say hello back to you. Okay, maybe I should type it. Hello to you too. All right. And so basically, I wanted to be in the real jungle to have a glimpse of what the American and Viet Cong soldiers would have had to endure. And yeah, the beginning part was good. The ending part was interesting. I'll get to that. So I just started. First, I would. The tripod wasn't very tall, so I had some masking tape and I taped it to the tree, and I would film one location and then slightly turn the camera to have a new background, and then I kept moving and filming again. And I made my way down the side of a mountain, and going down was no problem. There was a small stream on the side, which of course I avoided, but I did notice, and that will come into the story later. And so I just continued going further and further down the mountain to have a new scene, film a few shots, and then move again and take a few shots, as I'm sure you've noticed if you've seen that video. And it was only when I was done filming a few hours later that I realized that that stream of water on the side was not only that stream of water, but it was basically the whole side of the mountain had water coming down of it. But because of all the foliage and jungle life, whatever, I couldn't see it. So when I was trying to make my way back up the mountain, it was quite challenging. I had this big plastic bag that I had my bag and my notes and my tripod in, and I basically used it to like throw it, hook it between some trees, and use that to pull myself up, and that worked. And I was very muddy by the time I got up, and I had a few leeches on me, and it was pretty gross. But the leeches were on my sock, not on my skin, and so yeah, it was not as bad as it could have been, but it was definitely an authentic experience. One of the comments on that video was, "Any sightings of the lizard while you were out there in the jungle alone?" By Robbie Dog 7896. And yeah, luckily, no, there was no weird sightings. I just wanted to be deep in the jungle where there's no sounds of cars and people talking like the previous episode, Red Night Vision in Vietnam, the Dicenium Glasses episode. When I was filming around the lake, there was a lot of like noise and car honks, and I had to stop many times and refilm. And but that's normal. Wow, Vietnam is good. Yes, Vietnam was good. It was my first time there, and it was quite the hectic experience, but I got my videos done, and I'm happy with that. Since we're on the comments, I'll do the rest of them. Someone called Malice Alice, great name by the way, commented, "Great video. I love making videos on the creatures too. Please keep up the good videos." So thank you to you. User 987 ABC, whatever, said, "Definitely weird. Definitely weird. Definitely weird." All right. Dexter Morgan, thanks for always commenting on all the videos. He wrote, "I've heard this story before, along with many others that happened in Vietnam. I believe it's probably true." So a little recap of the story is American soldiers in the Vietnam War witnessed reptilian lizard cryptoids in the jungle, and I go into the stories of three such cases. And then I finish with the discovery of Sondong Cave in 1990. And then the guy that found the cave also went in the cave and took a picture for proof of its existence. And upon further examination, you could see a cryptid in the background, and I zoom in on it. So I thought that was pretty good. He's also on the thumbnail. So yeah, that's about it for the Vietnam. But I have a lot of cryptids to talk about. So I said that this episode is called reviewing the Vietnam episode, as well as cryptids of the world. So I have a list of cryptids, and of course I can't have mentioned all of them. So if you know any more cryptids, you can write them in the comments section, and I'll check it out. But some of them are just like black figures in the forest, and you can't really put a name on it. So I do plan on making a cryptids episode in the future. I've seen a lot of creepy videos. Most of them are from Mexico, I guess. So let me see. Comments are done. Let's start with cryptozoology to explain what that is. I'm getting a lot of hearts from the person who said Vietnam is good. So thank you for the hearts. So first of all, cryptozoology is a pseudoscience and subculture that searches for and studies unknown, legendary, or extinct animals whose present existence is disputed. So I've got a list of cryptids from around the world. Of course, we have the classics. We have the Loch Ness Monster in Scotland. We have the Mokele-mbembe, the not yet extinct dinosaur in the Congo, Bigfoot in North America, Yeti in the Himalayas, Chupacabra, which is like Central America, South America, and a little bit of North America maybe. And then here comes the list. So we have Champ, the Lac Champlain monster, which is some kind of sea serpent. And I talked more about that guy in the Sea Loch and Lake Monsters Live. There is the Dobhar Chu, or King Otter, from Irish and Scottish folklore. That's a pretty crazy one. All right. Well, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm just going to basically say what it is and what country it's from. And if you're interested in learning more, just write in the comment section. I'll be sure to include that into the cryptids episode, which will be in the future. We have the Gloucester sea serpent from Massachusetts, the Lemish, a Patagonian monster, the Eagle-pogo from Lake Simcoe, Ontario, which is similar to the Ogopogo from British Columbia and Lake Okanagan. Also in Canada, there's the Mani-pogo for Lake Manitoba sea monster. This one's pretty interesting. It's called the Loveland frog. It's a frog 4 feet or 1.2 meters tall in Ohio. And it seems kind of silly, but it was witnessed by police officers and other people. So it's a thing. There's also the megalodon shark, which is the super large, gigantic shark that is still alive. And I've put some images of that in the Sea Loch and Lake Monsters episode as well. The Mokele-mbembe is a not yet extinct dinosaur from the Congo, and it's called the one that stops the flow of rivers. And the locals of the area, they have killed and eaten them before, but apparently the meat is poisonous, and whomever ate the meat died soon after. So don't eat dinosaurs. All right, there's the Selma, which is a sea serpent in Norway. I mentioned the Chupacabra. This one drinks the blood of livestock, and it's most prominent in Puerto Rico, which you'd think they could catch them all on quite a small island. But anyway, and then they made their way to Central, South, and North America. So yeah, North America is on there. Now here's another fun one. We have the lizard man of Scape or Swamp in the United States. And of course, there's the Michigan dog man, which is not the same as the dog men from ancient times that appear on the Piri Reis map and many other sources. Good night to you too, sir, from the comments. All right. Okay, this one's weird, but I don't have many details about it. But the Mongolian death worm is like a gigantic worm in the deserts of Mongolia. There's the Almas cryptid from the Caucasus Mountains and the Caucasus and mountains of Central Asia. There's the Amongo, a man-sized ape that is very violent in the Philippines. And I've gotten requests from people in the Philippines to make one about the aswang, which is a creature that attacks children and pregnant women, and it does very bad things. And I'm not sure how to approach making an episode about that, but I'm sure the Filipinos will love it. So that will be in the future. Another one of the classics is the Bigfoot or Sasquatch from North America and, well, basically USA and Canada in the forested regions. There's another fun one, the Bukit Timah Monkey Man. It's apparently immortal, and it's a forest-dwelling cryptid from the Singapore area. Singapore is quite small, so anyway, they've got a whole forest named after them. There's this is a Russian word, but Chunchunya, but it's the Yeti, the known by North Americans as the abominable snowman, from the Himalayan mountain ranges and also in Russia, hence the Russian name. There's the Cajun Sasquatch or Honey Island Swamp Monster. And in French, it's called La Bête Noire. And then we've got this one's hard to say, but it's from Sri Lanka, Nitaewo. I'll just spell that. It's Nittaewo. And they are a tribe of small Bigfoots, a kind of cryptid from Sri Lanka. Here's another fun one. We've got the skunk ape, a hairy human-like creature from the forest and swamps of Florida. They're often called Bigfoot's cousin. All right, we've got one from China called the Yeren, a cryptid ape man from remote mountain regions of China and most often sighted in Hubei province. There's the Yowie from the Australian outback. We've got the Jersey Devil, also known as the Leeds Devil, which is a flying biped with hooves. It looks pretty freaky. There's the Mothman of West Virginia, the Lake Van monster in Turkey that I mentioned in my previous episode, as well as the Nahualito from Argentina, which is a sea monster similar to the Loch Ness monster. And we have the Wendigo, which eats humans and can possess them and turn them into cannibals, which that's pretty scary. So those are all the cryptids I have prepared to tell you about today. For my upcoming episodes, I mentioned I had the Piri map, which is a map from 500 years ago, based on even older source maps that date back more than 2,000 years before the time of Christ. And these source maps, we have to figure out who made these source maps showing detailed coastlines of, let's see, we have Africa, South America, and Antarctica. And it shows Antarctica without ice. And I go into all the scientists' findings of when the last time Antarctica was ice free, and every number varies. But that's part of the conspiracy. So it could have been mapped by, excuse me, there's the Nicals of Mu, and then we have the Atlanteans, the Tartarians, the Anunnaki, the ancient Chinese, and even the inner Earth dwellers that are all contending to be the map makers of the past. We have I had trouble saying it before, but now I know it is the Orentius Phineas map and the Vinland map, which is associated with the Vikings, but it might not have been from them. There's going to Polaris in the north and Canopus in the south to be able to measure the longitude and latitude correctly to find your position in the earth, in the seas. And I go into who was Piri Reis, as I found that most of the other episodes when I was doing the research, and most people just tell about the map, and I wanted to tell about the man because he is very exciting. Did a lot of cool stuff. And then, of course, he drew the world map, which only 1/3 survives, and that's what this episode is about. And I also talk about Christopher Columbus discovering the New World, but he had maps of the New World, so he knew he would be discovering something. And Magellan going here, but when he took off, he went straight for the 52nd parallel to find the Strait of Magellan that would later bear his name. And so, yeah, he also had ancient maps, so he knew where he was going. And he discovered it in like 1520, something like that. But the Chinese did it in 1421. And interestingly, the first Spanish ships to cross the Strait of Magellan found sunken Chinese junks off the coast of Chile just after coming out of the strait. So there's more proof of the ancient Chinese having been there first. So I've already posted that episode, but it's going to come out next Sunday, 7 days from today. And then after that, there's going to be the live episode for the Piri Reis episode. And then I'm either going to have the Reincarnation Egypt episode, or I'll start posting the 4 episodes of Mu. So what happened was Mu was too long, according to some people. So I cut it into 4. And my plan is to have episode 1 week, the second week, the second one, the third week, and then basically 4 episodes in a row without a live, and then the live will be at the end. But if it's not quite ready in time, I'll do the Egypt episode first. Otherwise, I'll do the Egypt episode at the end. And while these episodes are playing, I'll have more time to concentrate on writing the Inner Earth episode, which is a long time coming, but I was waiting to have more experience to know what I was doing and not screw it up. So hopefully I can do the Inner Earth proud by making a great episode. So those are the things coming up, and I guess I'm done for today. Unless there are any questions, and I guess not, but at least it's working today. So great. Thank you. Someone said, the same guy said, Vietnam is good. Wow, good night. Ha ha ha. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait either. So that's all for today. As always, uncovering the truth, one conspiracy at a time. See you next week on the White Rabbit YouTube channel.